Isn't that Lego tram beautiful, huh? Anyway, welcome to the second episode of me talking about building Amsterdam station and the construction work surrounding the station. I apologise first of all. I know I said that the very next day I was going to do a mock-up for scale. A combination of Christmas, a vacation and a bereavement. Unfortunately, the very day after I posted that video, which required a trip to Ireland and that took a week, I'm a little bit delayed. But the good news is I'm going to just keep going around for the sake of yapping on and apologising. The good news is I got to have some really good thinking. I also tidied up all my spare Lego bricks into freezer bags, and that's the Lego that I bought from the Lego shop just there. Incidentally, I will be going back to the Lego shop. But today's little mini episode is going to be about scale and modules. And before I talk about each tile, concept is that I'm in my upstairs room and this is going to get absolutely huge, as you can see. Whilst the squares are the same size as the ones in the last video, these are not the only squares. So it's going to be big, it's going to need to be transported, and it's going to need to be stored. Yes, you can tell it's been well over a month, and in typical fashion I've been thinking or overthinking. So the last few nights, this is now the tail end of January, I've been thinking of scale and modularity, as I've said, and this is what I've come up with. So essentially the golden rule, and you're thinking when he says this he's already broken it, but I haven't, is that ideally every module will be one standard square in size and should be fairly easy to transport. Now obviously these two are still connected, but they are connected only by the track, as you will see, and I will explain more and try to take it off one-handed in a little while. So at the moment I have got 6 tiles. This one here, which at the moment only has guides. This will be the eastern side of the station. So where the tram is at the moment will be the front of the station building and one of the platforms. As you can see, I couldn't be bothered building 14 layers high just to play about with scale. So you have to use your imagination that the tram is underneath here. So this would be the first track, surprisingly followed by the second track. They're just displayed there. In the middle we will have a platform. Got a bit of a gap here, which, as you'll see when I pan over to the live stream, there isn't a gap. But what I'm thinking of is, as part of the new construction, it would appear that they're extending the platform, so the platform may very well come out over here, and that will be an uncovered section, which should be relatively true to life. If not, I will think of something. Now, behind there you've got two train lines, sorry, and then the back of the station. As far as now, you'll see that that's already changed. The positioning of things has changed because I didn't leave myself much space there at the back on the previous mock-up. Now obviously there's a lot going on in the live stream and I need more room. As I have the base plates, and hopefully I'll be as modular as possible, then I can rejig things slightly. So the plan is to have at least 2 tiles on the other side for the western side of the station. This is where it starts to get interesting. This area here will be the retaining wall, and where there is some construction, and I'll think of something here. This is cunningly marked out in vintage blocks, which will be part of the final model. These blocks signify the retaining wall, which leads us to what will be the road and the tram line. And then here, the beginning of the station. The tram line will curve around. As you may or may not remember, or even may or may not care, I originally had the tram line here, and then it would curve round. Now that's still going to happen. Those pieces are still there. They are untouched from the previous mock-up. I'm not planning on doing the front of the station for a while. The idea is that on this part of the station you'll have the roof, or half the roof. Roof or half the roof on the next 2 tiles to the west, which obviously would be one of these here. I'm not doing them yet. This, as I may or may not have said, will be the canal. So you'll have to use your imagination. One track this way, one track that way, one track that way. I know I've already said that. I apologise, you know I'm rubbish at this. Now, the next idea, and this is thinking way too far ahead, is that the bridges are going to be modular. Now, as 2 months have passed, or nearly 2 months since the last video, a lot has changed in Amsterdam, and I'll go through that with you in a little while as well. The idea is that everything here is going to be modular, and the tracks will just fit on a base plate, or the base plate for the tracks will retract. We could possibly have some construction base plates, or halfway through construction base plates. On the ProRail YouTube channel, they actually explained how they got the bridge pieces in. They were on a barge, they rotated them, they put them in and they rotated them. So this is not so much a model of Amsterdam Station, but it's almost going to be a whole Amsterdam Lego set, which will not be a Lego idea, because that would just, it would be horrendously expensive and probably take about 300 years to build. Although I'm still planning for the end of the year. So, because now I've decided on the scale, it's a case of going and buying Lego bricks. As I said, this is the canal. I'm just taking these off as I talk. I apologise, because as you know, it will be boring. Everyone's made it this far already, well done, because I'm struggling to get pieces off here. The base of the canal will be black flat pieces with transparent water pieces on top. Now that is a tip from another YouTuber, a much better Lego YouTuber than I will ever be. Brickcraft. I'm just getting these off for a second because I'll take a slight diversion. I'll come to that. I ran out of 6x2 blocks there. It just had to be lifted just enough over. Yeah, this is going to be pretty long. So just want to do one thing before we start moving along the thing here, that the sound of this is well and truly satisfying. Actually sounds like a real train, doesn't it? Yes, I'm very easily pleased. Right, let me just put that up here for now. Mind the little switch and the watering can. I do love house plants, and that's not going to go in it. Right, so this is very much the same, other than the fact that I haven't pushed it down properly. But this is still a prototype. So they're the first two blocks. I'm repeating myself, and we're already at 11 minutes. This is the first section of the canal road underneath the bridge. The bridge in itself needed 4 tiles of its own. Trying to squeeze it in would just be something that I would regret later. This is the canal black pieces. Now obviously these are all going to be hidden, that's why I'm using the vintage. These are actual blocks here that I will use. These are these blocks here, which I purchased from the Lego shop the day I made the last video. These are the sides of the canal. Now at the moment it's a straight line, but it won't always be, because as you'll see when well, you probably won't see because they've put the bridge up now, but there are supports protruding from the canal wall in the canal. So there's like a little island there, support. So the supports are going to be here. So that's them two done. I'm going to take these. These are, again, not really bridge safe, but the idea was just to show you. So as much as possible, everything is contained to a single brick, a single plate. I do apologise. And do you know what? I can just go up there. Now, this section, it's going to be quite hard to do. I'll have to do it. The only thing keeping them together was that. As much as possible, I'm going to do that. Now, when the bridge is there and they're going to be going like this, that's going to be harder. So that's when we might have to double up. But the base layer for the canal is going to have the same principle. The black base plates will not overlap, at least certainly not now. If things change, we'll have to live with it. Let me go for a little walk. Here we are. Now there's a lot less going on this one. Now you have to imagine for a second that, why not put them together? You have to imagine for a second that that these are all connected up nicely. Much the same canal, which these may or may not, I might attach to a piece of wood for stability. So individual base plates where possible, no more than 4 base plates on a, let's zoom out, no less than 4 base plates. I want it to be to be able to put away. Again, we've got the side of the canal, and we have the retaining wall. Now I might get, I know I said this last time, I might get smaller base plates. As you'll see, there's quite a lot going on in Amsterdam, and there's quite a lot going on over here as well. I don't think it does it justice, so maybe the smaller pieces, 16 pieces or something, just to finish things off. Again, the principle will be mostly the same. So now we go to Amsterdam. Now I had this feed. I'll try to paste the links in the video description. But I had this feed open really just as a guide for scale. So essentially we've got this part of the station, the middle platform. No, we're not doing the points, and this will be the end of the station. There's not going to be else. The new bridge is going to be here. The other thing about it being modular, first of all, have a look at the new bridge. It is stunning at night. You can see the bars just here. That's where the new platform extension is going to be. As far as I can tell, there's nothing. That gives me an idea of what we can put in the gap. Oh, hello train. So that's for scaling. You can see the difference between the old and the new. Probably can see it more clearly at day. Now, come over here, you can see a little bit more of what's going on. So the bridge went in, I think it was Christmas Eve. The final bridge piece was put on, and then obviously I had a few days. Christmas, they had a few days off, and we all had a few days off. So they've been putting finishing touches on the bridge just now. So that it pick this up, take it off, you'll have supports. I'll make it as easy as possible to mix and match. You can leave it without the supports, or you can maybe take the supports off and have a stump. You can see the concrete moulded supports there. You can also see their position relative to the side of the road here. Well, one thing I will mention, looking at the plans, there is a website. If I can be bothered, I will put that all on in links. This is going to be a cycle lane, so I'm going to put a cycle lane in. Around the bridge will look like it's finished, so the station will be finished. So as you can see here, this is the area that I think I pointed out last time as where there wasn't going to be a bridge. You can take the bridge off, there won't be a bridge. The reason the canal's so big is because this whole construction area is pretty much going to be a massive Lego set. So that's where we are. The Portaloo is gone. Can you believe that? I don't know what they're doing. And it also seems like there's a pancake stall off by the ferry. You can't see it on the camera, but it's just behind the back of the station. And I reckon that's where they're going for their lunch and breakfasts when they're not working. So there's going to be a pancake kiosk, and that's probably going to be somewhere at the front of the station. But all right, we're nearly at 18 minutes, so I'm going to say good night. And apologise again for it being so long, and it's not going to be so long because I'm well in the swing of things now. I'm contemplating a trip to the Lego shop to buy some more black base pieces because I don't have enough even of vintage or ones that I did buy when I went to the Lego shop. The box is empty. I just might go to the Lego shop with it again. I wonder if they sealed it. Well, I've got to find something to do with it. But there we go. So there's going to be a lot more progress now. I've decided on the scale. There will be problems. I'll deal with them when I come to them. I think this is possibly better for the weight. It gave me a lot of time to think about things, even though I wasn't just thinking about this. There might be a SimCity video coming in, not this weekend, coming the weekend after, because I might play next week. If the weather's not very good, it's still winter time here. So I will be doing that, as well as I just won't be doing one thing or the other exclusively. I'm having too much fun doing this. Take care. Thank you for watching. Any ideas or suggestions are welcome. Gratefully accepted. Ta for now.